Today, artists, we are practice printing. If you cannot be responsible and make good choices and you decide to make a mess, this includes with cleanup, then you will not be printing and you will not get a grade for the printing thing. Please be responsible. This is a fun art lesson. I hope you guys enjoy it. Instead, artists, you will be doing a writing activity. Artists, here's what the cart will look like for the wooden trays that you're going to have to share with the person next to you. And those are where the ink tubs are. Make sure the lids are sealed on tight and the brayers are clean and then stacked up at the sink. Thank you. So today, artists, when you come in, we're going to do a practice pull of a print, and we only have a 30-minute class, so we're going to do just the basics, and then tomorrow we'll do the real print. So you should have a pile of these. Take one, pass it back. You should have a pile of scrap paper. Take one, pass it back. You should have a pile of the yellow sheets. Take one, pass it back. And go ahead and fold this in half, please, artist, and put your name on the top. And then you should have one of these per table. Okay, I've already got that on there for you. It says foam tray, but you're gonna actually use a container with a lid. You're gonna place this in the center of your table, artist, so you can share with the person next to you, okay? I'm gonna move my cart, my recording station thing here. And then you're gonna have this thing that says place brayer here. You're gonna put it right up above. You might need to adjust this a little bit. Very carefully set this on top, because what's gonna happen when you're done rolling, okay, instead of leaving it, and you can try to leave it in the container as long as the handle is not sticking in the ink, otherwise you're gonna set it there. So I'm gonna do a practice print right here to show you. First thing I want you to do is put your name on every single sheet that you have. So the green, the gray, the yellow, and then you're gonna have a practice. This is going to be what you're gonna, just a scrap piece of paper that you're gonna practice printing on. Every table should have a tub that matches their table. So this is table 1, and then you have a lid that matches it. You can set this lid underneath, it should be fine. I will probably have the ink in there for you because I don't want you guys to make a mess. Typically, you make sure the lid's on and you just kind of do one of these. These are older tubes that I'm using the ink, and I went through and I got rid of the yucky stuff on top. And like I said, this will stain. Push up your sleeves, do what you need to. I do not have smocks for you guys to use. So take this, I will take this ink, or I'll have a responsible student do this. And you're just gonna, I'm gonna spread a little bit out like this, okay? And then I'm gonna go ahead and put the cap on. And what I like for you to do, like I said, if I let you do it, the ink will be on one side, and then you'll take the brayer and then you'll spread it throughout. So artists, you should have your name on everything. I've got it set up. I put my camera on something you guys see a little better. Here's my gray mat, my green messy mat. I've got this to set my brayer on if it's not gonna set in here. Like I said, we can't have the handle sitting there. These are the brayers. You've already folded this piece of paper in half, used for pressing on the foam plate. This is your scrap paper that you're going to do some printing on, okay? So the first thing that I do is I get some ink. Make sure your handle's not in it. You're gonna be sharing this brayer with the person next to you, okay? So we're filling up. See how I've spread that ink all the way across? The nice thing about these containers is that we'll be able to keep them, use them every day. So I have a fair amount of ink on this, okay? So I'm holding on to that container while I'm doing it. Then I'm very gently, holding on to the edge of my plate so I don't get ink everywhere and it doesn't move. Go all the way to the edges. Then I'm gonna lift it up and I'm gonna turn it this direction. This might be too much ink. We will see. It's a lot of ink that I put in there. Then, so that's where I put my ink. So here's my clean paper. Yours is gonna eventually be the rainbow. You can just do 2 or 3 on here. Then I can press it down with my fingers. This is for you to press down so you don't get ink. Make sure you're not putting it in ink that's over here. Go all the way around okay, on the plate, move it to where it's closer to it, and you're pressing or rubbing on the plate. Take this piece of paper off, make sure it's not getting set into the ink. Do a little peel and check, okay, and there's my print. Now, do you see how my grooves were not necessarily deep right there? You guys are probably gonna do a better job than me because I used a pen instead of colored pencil. Now, I can actually take and do this. Do not get more ink on it because, like I said, I could see that there was a lot of ink, so I might need to put less ink in your guys' containers. And then I press it down. I'm doing another pull without adding ink. I set this little piece of paper down on top. Now, once I start getting ink on the rest of it, I'm gonna have to be aware of where my hand is and make sure that I'm not getting ink everywhere because you don't wanna mess up your print. So we're gonna do this practice today, and then tomorrow we'll do another practice because I'm not sure how many we will get done today on this. We only have 30-minute class. So now when I peel this here, I want you to see that's a pull, another pull. I still have ink on this, okay? So all I want you to do today, we're just doing a practice, getting everything set up, making sure everything's right. Do not apply ink to this more than once, only do one. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep practicing even though I haven't added any ink, okay, setting it together, because tomorrow you will do a practice pull again. Like I said, I'm not sure how many pulls you will get done all the way around. And a lot of you don't even have your plate done yet. So some of you will be printing, the rest of you will not. And then I keep pulling it until the ink is completely gone. Now, I'm going to do another one. I probably won't get anything off. After this, artist, you're gonna have to go to the sink and clean your foam plate so you can use it again. Like I said, make sure that your grooves are done really well. Otherwise, you will not have that great of a design. So now I lift this up. So I'm going to show you how to end all this. So this you can take with you, put on the drying rack to let it dry because that's really wet. This you will use again, okay? This you will use again. If you need to take another scrap piece of paper, set it on top of your ink. I did a good job not getting ink everywhere. Then what you're going to do, artist, I'm going to set this on top of here. I've got a little bit of ink. I'm gonna fold this in half. My name's on all of it. And this, artist, will go inside your tub, okay? So after that, you're gonna stack all this stuff up. That'll go in the drying rack. You're gonna clean that in a minute. You're gonna keep this yellow sheet. Put it where it's not on top of any ink. Okay, now, this is the tricky part, artist. You're going to close this lid, okay? Make sure that it's on nice and tight. And now, do you see how I don't have any ink here? I don't have any ink here. So you may, if you don't need to use this, then don't use it. One person will take this and put the ink on the cart. Another person from your table will take this. And if you're only one person at a table, close this lid, hold on to this, take it to the sink and put it in the black cart and wash it, please. Okay, now I'm at the sink and I've got the dirty plate and I've got the brayer. You can go ahead, make sure you're not turning on the water too fast. Use the warm water, okay? And you're gonna set the brayer in here. Now, this can be set aside, okay? And those can stay in there to soak. And then you, artists, have to come in and make sure, use your fingers, okay? Very gently get the ink off your plate, okay? Because you're going to use this to reprint, okay? Make sure you don't have it way up here where you're splattering, but you're rinsing off this plate. Then you kind of tap it a little bit, turn off the water. This is why we are probably not gonna get to our real practice. We'll probably just do one pull. Your job, artist, is to get all the ink off as you can, much as you can, okay? Now, mine, like I said, the grooves are not as deep right here because I use a pen. That's why I'm having you use the colored pencil. And then you will dry this and put this in the tub with the rest of your stuff. And then somebody at the end will clean the brayers, okay? So they'll soak through here. Make sure we're not getting ink everywhere. You can use the sponges or you can just use your fingers on there. And then our trays that we use to paint, I will probably have sitting next to, because we don't have enough room on the drying rack, that way you're not carrying them. If you're at the blue sink, you could use the drying rack. And I'll probably have one for the yellow sink, but otherwise, artists, they will sit on the tray. So this is the tray that we use for painting. Make sure there's a paper towel on here, and then you just set the brayers to where they don't fall back in the sink, but that the handles are sitting out, and everything should be cleaned, and we'll be ready to print tomorrow. Thank you, artist.